Welcome back, everyone. Today's topic is a little harder to get a grasp on and a bit harder to explain, so please bear with me. Today we will be talking about torpor, hibernation, and estivation, which are very closely related topics. Throughout the video, we will discuss what torpor, hibernation, and estivation is and who performs it. We will also give, of course, our 5 fast facts about the animals that perform torpor, and we will also be looking at some animals that do torpor. So I'll give you some examples that of which animals do this and some fun pictures of them. So let's get into it. To begin talking about these 3 different processes, we will first begin with torpor. I went ahead and made these little slides on here that you can check out, and it would be easy to follow along while I talk about each of these processes. So torpor. The definition of torpor is a state of physical dormancy, so like sleeping. It occurs in extremely cold temperatures, and the animals that carry out this process, for an example, is the gray mouse lemur and the lesser hedgehog. The difference between torpor and, let's say, hibernation, because of course you've probably heard of hibernation, is that torpor may be unplanned, whereas hibernation is a whole process that they go through to prepare for hibernation, whereas torpor can be unplanned. Say it gets negative 10 outside and an animal is unable to keep up with those temperatures, it's not able to function correctly. They will go into this dormancy to conserve their energy and heat. Alrighty, now we're going to talk about hibernation, which is probably something you have heard of, since hibernation is widely taught in schools. The definition of hibernation is a period where an animal is in a dormant state throughout the winter. Like I just said, this occurs in the winter. And we have, of course, heard of bears doing hibernation, but groundhogs also do hibernation. Keep in mind, throughout these slides that I will show, there are more than just 2 animals doing the process. Of course, I just used 2 as an example. So not only bears and hedgehogs hibernate, others do also. Hibernation is planned. Unlike torpor and estivation, animals go through a lot to prepare for this large, dormant state that they will be in. They need lots of food and water in their system before they go into hibernation. For a bear, let's say, to wake up from hibernation, they actually do a lot of shivering to get their body warm before going out to do whatever they need to do. Our last process that we will discuss is estivation. The definition of estivation is a prolonged torpor of an animal during a hot or dry period. This, of course, when it's hot or dry, occurs in extreme heat. The examples I have here are lungfish and salamanders. Something that we should look at when we're talking about this process is the animals that do it. Lungfish and salamanders both need to be wet. They belong near or in, if you're a lungfish, water. So if it's extremely hot outside, they need to conserve that water. So they go and try to find a maybe muddy place that is wet for now and estivate until it becomes an appropriate temperature and they're able to find more water to get up and get. So that might be a good reason that you do estivation. There's a huge misconception about these processes that I figured needed to be addressed. The misconception is that when going into hibernation, torpor, or estivation, the animals sleep the whole time, when in fact, these animals wake up every so often to use the bathroom, or they need more to eat or drink. It depends on how often the animal wakes up on the species or what animal it is. But regardless, they do not stay in these processes like bears don't stay in a sleeping mode all throughout winter. Now we are going to do a reflection over all the things that we learned previously in the video. What season does estivation occur in? Estivation occurs in the summer when it's really, really hot. What is an example of an animal that does hibernation? A bear or a groundhog? What season does torpor occur in? Torpor occurs in the winter when it's really cold. Why do animals go into dormancy? Meaning torpor, hibernation, or estivation. To escape the harsh weather and conserve their energy. That is all I have for you. I'm sure you did great. Let's get into our last segment. Of course, now it's time for our last part of the video. We will be doing the 5 fast facts about hibernation, estivation, and torpor, and the animals that do these things. First fact is that black bears will gain around 30 pounds per week before hibernation. Oh my goodness. Bears give birth and nurse cubs during hibernation. My goodness. So, like I said, they're not just out cold. 65% of wood frogs' bodies becomes ice when hibernating. Don't worry though, they're just fine. They will thaw out in the springtime and be perfectly okay. Hibernating bats can go without a breath for an hour, so they could take 1 breath per hour. That's crazy. We definitely could not do that. Bears are light sleepers and can hear what's happening around them. Don't test this theory. You never want to go up to a hibernating bear if you ever find one, because they will be listening and they will be grumpy. Thank you so much for joining in for this video and all my videos beforehand. I hope that you learned a lot about hibernation, estivation, and torpor and the differences between them. I hope that I was able to deliver this well, and I will see you next time. Thank you so much for watching.